Hello, fourth graders. Today we are going to work on division hangman, which the everyday math people call partial quotients. Let's have some fun. So our objective today is for you to be able to apply your understanding of division using multiplication, subtraction, and addition to solve one-digit divisor equations with division hangman, also called partial quotients. When you're thinking about division, the first thing you actually want to do is think about multiplying. So we're going to start with a few easy multiples. If I multiply 10 times 7, I know that 10 times 7 is 70. If I multiply 20 times 7, I know that 2 times 7 is 14, and then bring over the 0. If I have 5 times 7, I know that 5 times 7 is 35, and bring over the 0. If I have 100 times 7, I know that 1 times 7 is 7, and bring over both the zeros. Let's practice those easy multiples one more time. This time, we're going to do 10 times 8. Remember, it's 1 times 8, which is 8, and bring over the 0. 20 times 8. See if you can write it down first. So I multiplied 2 times 8, and I got 16, and bring over the 0. Let's try 50 times 8. Be careful, this one might be a little tricky, because 5 times 8 is 40, and you have to bring over the extra 0. Now try 100 times 8. You should get 800. Excellent. Remember, you can keep practicing your easy multiples throughout this lesson. Now we're going to learn the parts of a division equation. There are 4 main parts of a division problem. Let's learn them now. First thing we have to know is that a division problem can be written 3 different ways. One way to write a division problem is going to be so that you have a line and 2 dots equals. The next way a division problem is going to look could be 38, and this time you have a slash and 5 equals. And then the third way would be having 38 over 5. Those are the 3 different ways to write a division problem. Now we're going to look at the number model. This number model says 38 divided by 5 equals 7, remainder 2. The first number in a division equation is called the dividend. When you're thinking about the dividend, that is the number that you are dividing. I usually think of the dividend as cookies. The dividend is the number of cookies that you have. Next is the divisor. In this number model, 5 is the divisor. The divisor is the number that you are dividing by. You can also think of it as kids, the number of kids who want to eat all the cookies. The next part of the number model is called the quotient. The quotient is the answer to a division problem. The answer. The last part of the division equation is called the remainder. Now the remainder is part of the quotient, but the remainder is also, consider it the number of cookies that are left over. So in this problem, there's only 2 cookies left over, and they're the remainder. So take a moment and review the parts: the dividend, the divisor, the quotient, and the remainder. Now we're going to start the actual division hangman. Remember, there are 3 main math problems that you have to know. First thing you have to know how to do is multiplication. The next thing you need to know is subtraction. And the last skill you need to know is addition. Let's begin working through a few problems. We'll begin with the number model 127 divided by 7 equals. I'm going to start by rewriting that into a division hangman format. I put the divisor on the inside of the box. Remember, the divisor is the number of cookies that we have. So right now, we have 127 cookies. Yum! The next thing I do is I put the divisor on the outside. That's the number of kids that want to eat all these cookies. Now that I have the equation set up, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply. I'm going to take my divisor and I'm going to think about what times the divisor will get me close to 12. I know that I'm going to start with a 10. Remember those easy multiples? So I know that 10 times 7 is 70. So I'm going to put 70 right there. The next step in a division problem is now I'm going to subtract. I'm going to put a minus sign here. Now I'm going to say 7 minus 0 is 7. 2 minus 7, oh, I can't do that. So I'm going to say 12 minus 7 is 5. Next I'm going to look and I'm going to say, well, 57 is much larger than my divisor, which is 7. So I'm going to have to think about what times 7 will get me at or close to 57. I know that 8 times 7, here's my 8, equals 56. And I subtract. And I get 1. Now I'm going to look at the 1, and I'm going to look at the divisor, which was 7, and I notice that 1 is smaller than 7. So that tells me I need to stop, and I'm going to add. I'm going to put my equal sign right there with an addition sign. Now, please note that I have lined up my digits so that they are in the proper place value. It's really important that my 8 and my 0 are in the same column, and you'll see why later. Now I'm going to add 10 plus 8, which is 18, and I have one cookie left over, so that's remainder 1. So my quotient is 18 remainder 1. Let's do a little bit of practice. The first thing I'm going to do is multiply. I'm going to ask myself, what times 4 is close to 17? I know that I can say one of those easy multiples, which is 10. I like to start with 10, usually trying to get my brain going. So 10 times 4 is 40. I'm going to put my 40 here. Again, make sure that you are lining up your place value. Put the equal sign, and now I'm going to subtract. So now I'm going to subtract. 6 minus 0 is 6. 7 minus 4 is 3. And 1 minus nothing is still 1. My next step is to look at the 136 and the divisor. And 136 is definitely much larger than the divisor of 4. So I'm going to have to continue my multiplication. This time I'm going to look at 4 and I'm going to say what times 4 equals 13 or close to it. I know that 4 times 3 equals 12. So this time I'm going to say 4 times 30 equals 12. So I have 3 times 4, which is 12, and I'm bringing the 0 over. And then I'm going to subtract. 6 minus 0 is 6. 3 minus 2 is 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. I don't need to bring that last 0 down. The next thing I'm going to do is look at that 16 and I compare it to my divisor of 4, and 16 is definitely larger than 4, so I have to continue. One thing I am noticing is that I know that 4 times 4 is going to equal 16, so I'm going to multiply 4 times 4. The 4 is going to go in the ones column, and then I'm going to put my 16. Now I'm going to subtract those, and I should get 0. So 0 is definitely smaller than my divisor. That means that I stop on the inside of the hangman, and I'm going to go over and I'm going to add on the right side. Put the equal sign. I'm going to put my plus sign there, and I'm going to say 0 plus 4 plus 0 plus 4 is 4, and 1 plus 3 is 4. So 176 divided by 4 equals 44. Now it's time for you to practice. Here are 4 division equations that I have provided for you for you to practice with. On the following slides, I will write out all the problems so that you can check your work. Remember, this is the first time you have ever done division, so practice lots and get comfortable. Pretty soon, you're going to be able to show your parents how to do division hangman. Good luck!